Well, hello and welcome. My name is Jill Cordova, and I'm actually the moderator for this session. I have been the educational coordinator for the Winter Sports Clinic for the past 26 years, so I'm excited to join you today. I'm honored to introduce our two speakers today, called Overcoming Obstacles and Veteran Testimonials from Service to Slopes. Our first presenter is Doug Tuttle. He is a former VA rec therapist, and he will provide us information on the impact he has seen with veterans from who have participated in adaptive sports, as well as the Winter Sports Clinic. Our second presenter is U.S. Navy veteran and current Paralympian David Williams. David will share his journey from service to slopes from the Winter Sports Clinic to the Paralympics. So please give a warm welcome to Doug and David.
Okay, very good. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well during this pandemic. It's unfortunate we have to do a video conference, but it's better than nothing. We're thinking of you, and hopefully we'll have a good discussion today about the adaptive sports and being physically fit. As I said, my name is Douglas Tuttle. I was born at a very early age. I was born into a family of 7 brothers and sisters, where I was the middle one, and I never slept alone till I got married. Other than that, on a serious note, I've had 38 years of experience in the VA, working as a kinesiotherapist. At first, my internship was in spinal cord injury, and I fell in love with the veterans at that time, and I knew that was the place where I needed to be. 38 years later, I retired at the West Palm Beach VA, where I was the clinical director of physical medicine and rehabilitation. It's there where I got acquainted with the veterans adaptive sports and could really see what it could do for our veterans. In the clinic, I was able to teach veterans how to get by in life, how to transfer, how to use their new legs, how to get in and out of bed, how to get around in their wheelchair, how to cook meals, and things like that. When I went to the Winter Sports Clinic for the first time in 1999 it was, I realized that there's more that I could be doing for the veterans. In our clinic, I was just teaching the veterans how to get by. With the adaptive sports, you teach the veteran how to live and how to enjoy their life after injury, after disability, with their family and friends. It's not just about being able to get around at home, it's being able to get around and live your life to the fullest it can be. So without any further ado, I'm going to be talking a little bit about physical fitness and its importance to you all out there. And when I say to you all, I mean everybody, able-bodied and those that are physically challenged. I think deep down in everybody's mind somewhere that everybody wants to be physically fit. I don't think there's anybody out there who purposely says, I don't want to be physically fit. Deep down, they want to be physically fit. The missing part is that how do they go about it? It's hard. It's hard to be physically fit. And because why? Because it takes time and effort. You will never have anything that you're unwilling to pursue. Anything worth pursuing is always going to take time and a great deal of effort. Knowing that, you have to go out and pursue what it is you want in life, whether it be a college education, whether it be job promotions, whether it be finding that woman that you want. It takes time and effort, and you have to go for it. Being physically fit is the same thing. You have to want to be able to be physically fit. Because why? It takes time and effort. Man is naturally a lazy creature. We don't want to exert time. We don't want to spend a great deal of time. We don't want to exert energy. That's why we invent all these things to save us time and energy. But there's no way around it. If you want to be physically fit, you got to put your time in and you got to put your energy in. So having said that, let me check my notes here, see where I'm at here. I'm just babbling on like I usually do. Okay, the difference between those who are and these people who are not is a matter of choice. And consider this being your choice to decide to be physically fit. By becoming physically fit, you will increase your strength, your endurance, and your ability to improve functionally, be able to do more things. To improve it'll also improve your confidence. It will help you to engage with more people. Why? Because you feel better about yourself. When you're not in shape, you tend to have a tendency to shy away from people. You have a tendency to not have the self-confidence you would have if you were in better shape. Just mentally overall, it just puts you in a better place. Greater independence in everyday life skills that you do by becoming more physically fit. You will be able to take on more things because you have the strength, you have the endurance, and you have the ability to do it. You'll be able to maintain your weight, lose weight, whatever it is you want to become more physically fit. By carrying around that extra weight, who are you hurting? You're hurting yourself, and in some cases, you're hurting your caregiver. By becoming more physically fit, by reducing your weight, you become a lighter burden for yourself when you have to transfer, when you have to use your prosthetic limbs, when someone has to move you, when somebody has to push you in the wheelchair, you just become a easier person to deal with, let's put it that way. I have some pictures that I want to show you from some of the events that we have done. After going to the Winter Sports Clinic first time in 1999, I found that I could do more with adaptive sports than I could actually accomplish in the clinic with a veteran. So I started my own charity. It's called veteransadaptivesports.org. You guys can go to the website and check it out. But I got some pictures of some of the things that we have accomplished. And if you look at these pictures that I'm going to show you, you'll notice that the men and women, I do have women involved. I don't think I have any in these pictures, but they're all in shape. You don't take on adaptive sports without first getting yourself in a little better shape, because it's going to be hard for you. It's going to be hard for you to accomplish these things. But I'm going to show you these photos if I can figure out how to do it by switching my camera around. I don't know if I can do that if somebody else on the other end has to do it, but I got some photos behind me on the wall I'd like to share with you. Can I figure out how to do this? Let me see here. Is anybody listening out there? Can I turn my camera around?
Sure, we could see the pictures on the wall, Doug.
Oh, you can? How?
You had it a
I
minute
turned-
ago.
Okay, like that?
Yep.
Okay, is that centered or anything? I can't see because I can't see it. Can I turn my camera around the other? No. You seeing anything?
We are seeing some pictures.
All
I
right.
see a hand bike. There we go.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, I can't see what you're seeing though.
Okay. So there's somebody hand cycling.
Talk us through what you showed us.
Yep, we see
Looks
that
like
picture,
Josh
Doug,
Sharp.
the hand cycling, yellow shirt.
That's Moab.
More hand cycling on the mountain.
That's mountain bike going down. Cool.
Got that one.
Okay. You're doing good, Doug, with that. Just slide it over to the next frame.
Right.
I think Doug
Buffering,
might be
Doug.
muted again, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, he seems to be
Yeah.
muted,
Muted.
muted. It says his bandwidth is low. I don't know what that means.
That's
my
something with this
bandwidth?
Wi-Fi.
There
Yeah,
you go, Doug.
you're-
We can hear you
You're
again.
buffering a little bit.
All right, yeah, how about this? Can you see this picture?
Yep, we saw it.
Yep,
Okay, yeah, that's the guy on the mountain bike. Here's
Right.
one of our vets water skiing. Can you see him?
Yep.
Here's how you sit on a water ski. Can you got that?
Pull it back a little farther from the picture. There you go. Yep.
All right. That's how the water ski is that a paralyzed guy would sit in to be able to water ski. This is a picture of Rainbow Bridge, which is on Lake Powell, where we went water skiing. We spent a week on the water there. In Lake Powell, what you don't see in this picture, it's a mile and a half back to this Rainbow Bridge, and we were all in chairs. And we all took that trip back there, pumping ourselves in our chairs all the way back a mile and a half over a damn goat path. But the guys were in shape and we were able to do it. We were able to get there. And the weather was like right around 98 degrees that day.
Wow.
You see that? Yep. This is Jerry Shields. He's a Paralympian archer. Everybody probably knows Jerry. You see Jerry okay?
yeah,
Yep, we see Jerry.
Okay, good. Here's a whitewater raft trip that myself and a bunch of veterans took down the Colorado River. This was one of our rafts. Can you see that photo okay?
yes.
Yes.
Yep, that was down the Colorado River. This is Cataract Canyon, another whitewater raft trip. Those whitewater rafts for 5 days, and we camped out along the river along the way. This is Cataract Canyon. Guys all stayed in tents. This is our little ski team. You see that okay?
Yep. Love your little ski team.
Yeah, and here's a couple of our vets, above knee and a below knee amputee.
Back just a
They're
little
hitting it
farther
up.
from the picture.
Okay.
There you go. Yep, perfect.
And these guys are both excellent skiers. They ski independently. They're on their own. And here are some of you might know Luke Murphy. This is one of our week-long ski trips out at Tire Ride. He skis independent.
Is Luke still skiing, Doug?
Yes, he does.
Nice.
Not as much as he'd like to. But anyways, the reason I put those pictures is that there's all kinds of things you can get yourself engaged in, but you can't just walk out your back door and do it. You have to crawl before you can walk, and you have to get in shape to do these things. In order to be successful at it, I mean, you can go out there for the first time and kind of, get your way through it. But in order to be successful, be independent, you have to work at it, and being physically fit is the only way I know of that you can. You have to be in shape with it. You guys that have prosthetic legs out there that you don't use, start using them. Get yourself in shape. Use that leg. We gave it to you for a reason to use. Instead of being pushed around a chair or pushing yourself around a chair, get up and use your leg. It'll get you in shape. It'll help you lose some weight. You may have to get your leg adjusted because you've lost weight because now you're using it again, or you may develop blisters from it, but get using your leg. Become more independent. Do the things you need to do.
Doug, I just want to interrupt you for a second. You just have a couple more minutes, so we have time for David to talk. So,
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Yeah, so want me to wrap it up?
yes, is that okay with you? And we will make sure that the audience can ask questions. So you'll stay on with us, right? So if they have any questions after David talks.
Yep, I sure will. Yeah, so in other words, you will never have anything you're unwilling to pursue. And anything worth pursuing will always take time and effort. Get used to it. Get out. I want all my veterans, all of you veterans out there, to live your lives to the fullest. If you're cutting yourself short by not being in shape, it doesn't take much to get in shape. Just start out by doing the things you do every day, only start to do more of it. Gradually increase. feed your head with good information about what it takes to get in shape. Read the articles about getting in shape instead of reading the romance novels and watching TV. Feed your head with stuff that is all about getting in shape and doing the things you want to do. Okay, well, that wraps it up for me. And without any further ado, I guess David's going to come on. David Williams is a Paralympic skier who just won the U.S. Nationals in the Grand Slalom. And I like to call him a friend. David, are you out there anywhere?
David is here. We are going to show real quickly. Thank you so much, Doug, for sharing with us. And we are going to show his video real quick right now.
This is some GS training here at Winter Park. This is what I do 5 days a week from 9 o'clock until noon. Then as soon as we get done with that, it's ski maintenance and waxing, getting the burrs off your edges. And then we go to the gym and we work out. A lot of fun. Things can get pretty wild when you're going 50 miles an hour down a hill on one ski. It's pretty hard to control sometimes.
Thank you, David. That was very cool.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Dave Williams. I was a Navy Seabee from 2000 to 2003. I was injured while on duty in 2003. I suffered the T11 burst fracture, which completely severed my spine. After my service, I chose to drink a lot of alcohol to try to numb my brain, to keep them thinking about the what ifs, what could have happened, what could have been different, what could I have done different. This went on for about 10 years until I decided to uproot myself to get a new start on life, to press that reset button. And I moved down to Miami, Florida, and decided to volunteer at the Miami Spinal Cord VA, and met a PT down there named Brooke. And she was pestering me for almost 2 years to go to the Winter Sports Clinic. And finally I gave in and I went. And after arriving to Snowmass, being in the mountain, just seeing everything out there it just opened my eyes to the possibilities of what could happen. And then my first day on a monoski, I fell in love. This is what I wanted to do. And after that point, I decided to start ski racing. And I showed up to Aspen Valley Ski Club's adaptive program with a mono, team dues, and not even knowing how to ski. It took me almost 3 years before I was able to finish a course. And then after I did that, it was a lot of work on technique, body position, race line, and lots of time in the gym. For instance, last year, I rode my hand bike 3,000 miles. It was all logged on Strava. And I started this season best shape of my life. But yeah, sorry, back to the point. Ski racing, it gave my life some sort of meaning again. When you're in the military, you have a goal, and it's usually whatever someone else tells you to do. You don't have to go out and look for something to work towards. So me finding ski racing and then finding a goal to become a Paralympian and race with all of these other elite world-class athletes, I mean, my life has changed completely because of it. And I have a lot to thank with Doug for that too, because he got me to Telluride for 2 years in a row to work with instructors to learn how to load a monoski onto a lift and how to get in and out of it, how to make a turn, how to stop, all of the basics. It was exactly what I needed at that point in my life. And I love the guy. He's awesome. Really good friend. But yeah, last year I made the U.S. national team. But due to COVID, the World Cup races were pretty sparse. We traveled to Hintertux, Austria, at the beginning of the season for some early season training, which was my first time ever in Europe skiing, and it was fantastic. Took 3 gondola rides to get to the top of this glacier, and it was just amazing. My first World Cup race was in Leogang, Austria. I DNF'd both GS races. The surfaces in Europe are completely different than here in Colorado. In Colorado, the snow is very soft and forgiving and very fun to ski in. When you get over to Europe, it's completely different. At the start of one of our races, it was raining and the surface was sheer ice. You could literally look down and see your reflection in it. So that was that's going to be the normal for next year whenever I race more World Cups. Extremely difficult terrain, extremely difficult pitches to ski on. And then working into the next Paralympic Games, it's going to be lots and lots and lots of fun, lots of traveling, lots of COVID tests, unfortunately, lots of quarantining, but it is what it is. We'll do it. But yeah, that's about all I have.
Okay, thank you so much, David. We can open up for questions if the audience has some questions.
I have a question for you. If you're comfortable sharing this, I found your story incredible. What was it on the day that you decided, after your 10 years of, where you'd been, that made you push yourself to make a change? What was that for you?
Well, I just didn't see a very good outlook. I didn't see anything positive in the future. There was nothing there. I mean, I was just going to continue to drink at home with friends or go to the bars and drink. Everything seemed like it was surrounded with alcohol. And I didn't like that. I wanted to have something that had more meaning to it. Something that was, I don't know. I just wanted to help people. I wanted to get out and I wanted to help people with the volunteering. I wanted to be able to be more active in the spinal cord injury group of people. That's why I did it.
Thank you for. I know that's a long time ago, but thank you for sharing that. It's always. I think a lot of people have been where you've been, and I think you have to have that moment of clarity to want to make that change.
Yeah, you just got to know when enough is enough.
I have a quick question. I'm sorry. I just have a quick question. It was pretty amazing when you talked about, like Teresa was mentioning, like a decade, and then it took, 2 years, for you to be convinced to go to the Winter Sports Clinic. Then it took you about another 3 years to get in shape. And were you aware actually of that time, or did it just feel like it was like a time warp, like you were there and then all of a sudden you're here and you're doing these amazing things and making your dreams come true? Or were you like aware that time was like just going right past you?
That's an awesome question. At the time, this is the cool thing about skiing. It's so much fun when you're doing it. You don't even realize, it's every year I ski over 100 days a year and I don't even remember, it's so much fun and you have so much adrenaline and it's amazing. That's the only words I can say it. And it doesn't feel like it's dragging on. It doesn't feel like you're just beating your head against the wall trying to get better, because you're constantly making little changes and you're constantly getting better every single day. You're learning something new every day. This keeps you motivated.
What's it done for your confidence?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the first 2 years after I quit drinking, my social life was just non-existent. I was home all the time. The only thing I was doing was working out, being alone,
Mhm.
trying to figure out what to do with my life, and volunteering. That was literally my entire life. Um, but yeah,
Thanks for volunteering and thanks for taking that first step. And thank you for just, I mean, inspiring us and just, I mean, the empowerment. It just gives us so much hope because we understand,
um,
and it's,
it wasn't easy. There was a lot of crashes. I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but this is a scar right here. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. There's a lot of crashing in ski racing, and last year at Winter Park Nationals, I took my outrigger handle and I shoved it into my chest and separated 2 ribs. So I think one of the big things of being able to stick with something is just having that perseverance to know that kind of stuff's going to happen. It's going to happen regardless of your ability to ski. When you first go out to ski, you're gonna fall over, but that's a very useful tool to be able to learn how to pick yourself back up. Um, yeah, and just knowing that it's still a fun thing to do, even after doing it for 7 years and over 700 days of skiing. It's still fun. It never gets old because it's always changing. The weather's always changing. Your skiing's getting different. You're building pressure at the tops of the turns. You're feeling G forces. You're feeling the wind going through your helmet. I mean, it's just amazing.
Okay, well, I think that we are good. Thank you so much, David and Doug, for sharing with us. And thank you for everyone else that asked questions and gave your input. I think you guys, it was really very fabulous.